No, we've been, our bats have kind of silented a little bit, if that's a word. Doesn't sound like a word. But they've quieted a little bit, maybe is the better word choice. I looked at it when we were hitting really well early on. It seemed like everybody was hitting and everybody was streaking together. And I remember saying, gosh, I hope that this doesn't happen where we all kind of slump together. And I feel like that's a little bit of what's going on here as of late. Just aren't really making great decisions at the plate. I think part of that is because we're facing conference pitchers, and conference team have our number just like we have theirs, so we're facing a little bit more tricky pitching and people pitching to our weaknesses. So that has made it a little more difficult to score than it was early on. However, that being said, we've been doing a decent job in the circle, enough that we're in ball games, and we've been able to win games at the crossover tournament, not in the same fashion we've been winning, but have been able to scratch out wins just the same. And so we've talked to the team before we gave them this weekend off, and talked to them about how entering into the conference tournament, our mindset has to be right, that just because we aren't scoring 9 runs doesn't mean we're failing. Just because we aren't hitting a home run every 5 at-bats doesn't mean you're failing. You're playing different kinds of softball right now. We're having different kinds of wins and different kinds of games. And so our focus has to be different as a result of it. Well, that's part of our issue offensively, too, is we have lost Tony Dance to an injury that happened against Central Missouri in the MIAA crossover. Really random injury, but she has hurt an abdominal muscle / into the hip area muscle that has been extremely painful. And they're anticipating her recovery at 4 to 8 weeks. However, in 1 week's time, Tony went from being in a wheelchair, crutches, to on Friday she was swinging the bat off a tee a little bit. So we're hoping that we're being very optimistic at this point that her recovery will speed along. She's been in the training room, and it just really depends on her diligence in the training room and her body's ability to heal regarding how quickly she's able to come back. But missing her bat in the lineup has caused some issues too. We're having to move around our lineup to try to cover up. And it's hard to make up 400 batting average just by moving some people around in the lineup. So everybody else has to pick up the slack and play a bigger role. I'm pleased that we're 20-7 without a home game yet. I was worried that we would have a worse record coming out of that big road stint, because those are the big road trips. Those are the 8-10 hour road trips where we're staying overnight 2-3 nights in a row. All the pressure of missing class and all the stuff that comes with it. The fact that we came out of that 20-7, now I feel good, because now we're going into our conference season, and sure, we're on the road, but now, a 1 movie trip is much better than a 4 movie trip, so we're golden now. It's not a big deal. So I actually think it might even help us.